All right, going in depth today, we're talking about jobs. New numbers just released show Utah continues to outpace most of the country in terms of creating jobs, keeping jobs. The state crunched the numbers for January. These are new numbers, and on the left here, you see that Utah's 3.1% unemployment rate compared to 6.3% nationally. And on the right, we see that Utah's rate of job growth slowed down in January by 0.5%. Nationally, job growth slowed more than 6%. So the man who really knows what all that means better than anyone, the man who crunches those numbers for the state of Utah, is with us right now. Mark Nold, Chief Economist with the Department of Workforce Services. Mark, it's good to talk to you. Let's get, first of all, we were talking about slowing growth. When we see a negative, clearly negative, what does that mean? Does that mean we did gain jobs in January, just not as quickly?
Usually how we measure the economy is to compare it to the same month a year before. Just because you can get seasonalities in the economy, actually the highest point of employment during the entire year is December because of the Christmas season. And then you have about good 20 to 25,000 job decrease going into January. It's normal, it's seasonal. You don't want to compare December to January, you want to compare January to January. And so what we're saying is, the current Utah economy and the quantity of jobs is 0.5% lower than it was 12 months ago in January of 2020.
Okay, that makes sense. And bottom line, Utah is doing really well overall. So I want to make sure we get that across, because I did want to ask, some of our viewers are watching in places that are still suffering a lot. And particularly when I look at the list, you break it down by county, and I look at Summit County, Park City and the area around there. They still had 12.5% fewer jobs in January this year than January last year. So is that about ski trips, about Sundance, about what?
Sure. Yeah, it's all about the tourism industry. It's all about economies that deal with anything where you have a customer base that does a lot of heavy interaction. So you're dealing with restaurants, you're dealing with entertainment, you're dealing with the arts and so on. The ski industry obviously is heavily impacted by that, people having trepidations about traveling because they have to get into packed airplanes to do that. So a lot of the industry sectors in the state are doing well, but the one that's been hit, straight, bullseye hit the hardest has been anything related to the leisure and hospitality sector. So economies whose lifeblood, so to speak, is based upon that industry sector is going to have the most impact in this economic setback. And in the winter months, that's going to be Summit County.
Yeah.
You move into the summer months, it's going to be southern Utah and the parks and those areas.
I did notice that, like Washington County and Grand County, January compared to January, they were up in jobs. And that makes sense also because people can drive to those places. And so it's a different travel thing.
That's a big factor is you may not be getting the international travelers coming into those southern Utah parks, but it's being countered by people such as wanting to come out from California and go visit. I actually had gone into the southern Utah parks between Christmas and New Year's, and I was amazed at the diversity of license plates.
Yeah, people just anxious to get somewhere, and they're not ready to fly yet. So tourism and hospitality, we have to hope and even maybe presume that is going to come back as the pandemic fades. Are you more worried about the Uinta Basin jobs? It's in Duchesne and Uinta counties where I also see more than 6% job loss there. Those energy jobs, those oil jobs, bigger concern?
It could be in the longer run, as in what I'm saying is lingering. I mean, you could get the vaccinations going at a very heavy pace. You could have people start to feel a lot better about moving around and being in crowded environments, and the leisure and hospitality industry could have a rebound because of that. The energy sector out in the Uinta Basin, it's a question mark as to how oil prices and energy prices progress. They have gone up here recently. Will it stick? Will it stay? The oil prices have gone back to a level that historically we've seen has spurred reactivity and reinvestment and really kicked up the Uinta Basin economy. That was not the case over the last year, year and a half. The energy prices were even falling before COVID hit, and that just made it all the worse. So it is a different dynamic there. It is energy based. That has, I think, more of a potential to be a lingering problem than would an economy that's dealing with the leisure and hospitality sector and starting to now look at that light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccines starting to come in.
All right. Mark Nold, the chief economist with the Utah Department of Workforce Services. Bottom line, Utah's doing very well comparatively to the nation, even though we always want to make sure that we're focused on those folks who need the boost. So thanks so much, Mark.
You're welcome.